Hey, I'm Jim Search, and welcome to Understanding Upstate, the podcast dedicated to exploring what makes Upstate New York such a unique place. Each week, my co-host Rob Adler and I dive into a new Upstate topic to better understand what's up Upstate. And this week, we tip off with the Upstate basketball squad, the Syracuse Nationals.
Woo! And that's the basketball team, not the car show.
Not the car show, folks, because I do not want to have anyone disappointed. You know, that the last thing I want to do is send dismay to the Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's out there tapping in for our podcast about the befabled land of upstate New York. I don't want that.
I mean, the only person that could potentially stand to be disappointed is the person who requested this topic but didn't specify if they wanted the basketball team or the car show. But it's I think our best guess is the former pro basketball team, the Syracuse Nationals, and not the current professional car show, the Syracuse Nationals.
Now, I will say this. What's the name?
It was Jennifer.
All right. Jennifer, if in fact you did want to hear about the car show, write in again.
But write in, not where you wrote in, because I can't remember the name of that platform, but I'm not checking it that frequently. Write us at, we have an email address. You can catch us there at understandingupstate@gmail.com, or what we recommend most listeners do is write us a 5-star review, give us a 5-star rating, and then write us a positive review. And you can throw in a suggestion or a question there, and you know what? We'll respond to it. You can also comment on Spotify on episodes if that's where you happen to listen. We'll catch those comments there. Generally, they're not the positive ones.
Yeah. Now, we got one that was actually...
That's true.
That was pretty decent. And then one, they were someone was mad at our geographical... what do I want to say?
Reasoning?
Yes, our geographic distance that we laid down. But you ain't got to be like that. You don't have to be like that at all. You can support this podcast. And another way you can support this podcast is picking up a t-shirt. Understandingupstate.printful.me is a place to do that. Go buy a shirt. Buy 5 of them. It's almost summer. Summer's right around the corner, folks.
That's true.
You do not want to be left out.
We're going to be in like the 60s, maybe 70s here in the city. That's t-shirt weather, Jim. That's t-shirt weather.
That is most assuredly t-shirt weather, and I cannot imagine the beauty that upstate New York will provide us if we're getting that weather. So go ahead, pick up all those shirts, run it all the way up to the heavens. We will appreciate you for it.
There we go. Jim, this is our second, I don't want to say defunct upstate pro basketball team, because they of course moved on, and they still exist in some capacity, but they're no longer the Syracuse Nationals. So let's talk about them. Let's get into it and learn about this once great upstate basketball team.
Indeed. So we're going all the way back in time to 1946, and then we're going to talk from 46 to 63, the Syracuse Nationals basketball team. Now, folks, just to paint a picture of what basketball looked like in 1946, this is when teams were all mostly white, 99.8% white, and these are when basketball players would dribble with both hands and would shoot like underhand, and like it's a very, very different time. We
will, in fact, talk about later on the transition from set shots, which is shooting with both feet planted, to like layups, as a big development that we'll talk about a little bit later on. But yeah, it's a big, different game for.
Yeah,
for
this
sure.
is there's a stark contrast between today's basketball
It's true.
and that of 1946.
And very like a lot of other sports in that time, segregated. Though the Nationals did play there, I found two teams that were all black players. The Harlem Wrens, or the Harlem Renaissance, which we've talked about before. They had a baseball team, and they actually had a basketball team, which is not as well known. And same thing with Philadelphia. I'm forgetting I think it was the Philadelphia Black Giants, I want to say was the team name. I believe a similar situation where if you look that up, you're going to get the baseball team. They also had basketball for at least a little while. So these teams were playing each other, but not, when you get the national teams, mostly white. If not all.
Yeah. So just want to paint that picture for you. In 1946, Italian immigrant Danny Biasoni sent a $5,000, approximately $83,000 check to the National Basketball League offices in Chicago, and the Syracuse Nationals became the largely Midwest-based league's easternmost team, based in the upstate New York city of Syracuse.
There you go.
The Syracuse Nationals began to play in the NBL in the same year professional basketball was finally getting some legitimacy with the rival Basketball Association of America, which based in large cities like New York and Philadelphia. While the NBL, with teams largely consisting of small Midwest towns, the Nationals put together a 21-23 record, finishing in 4th place. In the playoffs, the Nats would be beaten by their fellow upstate neighbor, Rochester Royals, in 4 games.
If you want to learn more about the Rochester Royals, we have an episode on them. It's pretty great. Mm-hmm. It's from a while back. Now known as the Sacramento Kings, another team that started out upstate and moved on.
So go run up that back catalog and connect the dots. Mm-hmm. In their second season, in 47-48, the Nationals would struggle, finishing in 5th place with a 24-36 record. Despite their struggles, the Nats would make the playoffs, getting swept by the Anderson-Duffy Packers in 3 straight games. Before the 48-49 season, 4 teams left the NBL for the BAA as the foundation for a merger was laid. Staying in the NBL, the Nationals signed Al Servey to be the player coach as Dolph Schayes made his professional debut. We're going to learn a lot about him later.
And Al Servey as well.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Leading the Nats to a winning record for the first time with a record of 40-23. That's a stark difference from 24 to 36. 24 and 36 to 40 and 36.
They also added like 20 games in the season too.
Sure.
From about 45 games to 63.
So because they lost, and I think they wanted more games.
Sure.
In the playoffs, the Nationals made quick work of the Hammond-Calmet Buccaneers, winning the series in 2 straight games. However, in the semifinals, the Nats fell to the dreaded Anderson-Duffy Packers for the 2nd straight season in 4 games. In 1949, when the NBL and the Basketball Association of America merged into the NBA, the Nationals were one of 7 NBL teams that were brought into the NBA. So, let's talk a little bit about Danny Biasoni. He was the founding owner of the Syracuse Nationals, an NBA team now known as the Philadelphia 76ers. Biasoni, who was a childhood immigrant to the United States from Italy, was best known for advocating for the use of the shot clock in basketball. How about that? Biasoni was posthumously inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2000 for his contributions to the sport. Because thank God for the shot clock, because that would be a pretty fucking boring game. It'd be very football-esque as far as running the clock.
Oh, sure.
And you don't want that when you want to see basketball. Although he did not originate the idea of a shot clock, he strongly supported its adoption in professional basketball.
If I'm not mistaken, we talked a lot about the shot clock in the Rochester Royals episode. I feel like it might have been a Royals, someone in the Royals Association that came up with the idea, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, we just have to go back and listen to the old episode to definitively say so. With Syracuse Nationals general manager Leo Ferris, Biasoni was responsible for establishing the NBA shot clock at 24 seconds, where it has remained to this day. He supported the 24-second rule on the basis of his observations, experience, and basic arithmetic. He really got into this. I gotta give him a lot of props, man. He didn't just pull 24 out of his ass. He went into some real deep arithmetic. I wouldn't even call it.
This is what year is this? 1954.
Yeah.
I think the MLB just instituted like a pitch clock in the last year or two, right?
Yeah,
ahead of
definitely within the last 5 years, there's been a pitch clock, which I have to say, as someone who has been to a few games before and after, certainly shaves off some time.
Yeah.
Definitely shaves off some time. Biasoni asserted that basketball proved most exciting when it achieved a balance between stalling contests and wild shootouts. He envisioned a well-paced matchup in which each team took around 60 shots per game. Given that professional basketball games lasted 48 minutes, Ferris divided 2,880, the number of seconds in 48 minutes, by 120, the total number of shots taken per game when each team attempted 60 shots, and arrived at a figure he considered optimal: one shot every 24 seconds. He was also the primary force in convincing the NBA to adopt the backcourt foul rule in 1953.
Okay.
So, in other words, I'm assuming that means that you cannot go into the backcourt once you've got the ball. Once you bring it across the line, can't go back. Biasoni was featured in the book Basketball History in Syracuse, Hoops Roots, by author Mark Allen Baker, published by the History Press in 2010. The book is an introduction to professional basketball in Syracuse and includes teams like Vic Hansen's All-Americans, the Syracuse Reds, and the Syracuse Nationals from 1946 to 1963.
Let me tell you, when you try and Google the Syracuse Reds, it really thinks you mean the Syracuse Orange. It's like, you got the wrong color, buddy. It's orange. I'm pretty sure.
Nah, I know you're looking for a warm color.
Yeah. So another notch over on the old color wheel, and you got it.
Yeah. You got to get a little bit more subdued than red. But you're close. You're getting close.
You're just gonna have to read that book. I tried to pull some info on the Syracuse Reds. No luck.
Mm-mm.
But I do have information on the early years for the Syracuse Nationals in the NBA. Should we learn a little bit more?
Let's talk all about it. All
right. The Nationals were an instant success in the NBA, unlike the NBL, which took a little time. They won the Eastern Division in the 49-50 season with a league best record of 51-13, a dramatic improvement over their earlier records. In the playoffs, the Nationals continued to play solid basketball, beating the Philadelphia Warriors in 2 straight games. Moving on to the Eastern Finals, the Nationals battled the New York Knickerbockers, also known as the New York Knicks, beating their big city rivals in a 3-game series. In the NBA Finals, the Nationals faced fellow NBL alums, the Minneapolis Lakers. In Game 1 of the Finals, the Nats lost just their second home game of the season, 68-66. That's dramatic. The Nats did not recover as they fell behind 3-1 before falling in 6 games. Despite several teams leaving the NBA for the National Professional Basketball League before the 50-51 season, the Nationals decided to stay put. In their second NBA season, the Nationals played mediocre basketball all season, finishing in 4th place with a record of 32-34. However, in the playoffs, the Nats played their best basketball of the season as they stunned the first-place Philadelphia Warriors in 2 straight, taking Game 1 on the road in overtime, 91-89. That's a high-scoring game for this time. Been pretty low scores that we've been reading off here compared to that. In the Eastern Finals, the Nationals were beaten by the New York Knicks in a hard-fought 5-game series, losing the final by just 2 points. A lot of close games. Al Servey, playing less and coaching more, emphasized a patient offense and a scrappy defense. We'll talk more about him, but he was hired as a player coach, and gradually moved towards more coaching than playing. Which led the league in the 51-52 season by yielding a stingy 79.5 points per game as the Nationals won the Eastern Division with a solid 40-26 record. In the playoffs, the Nats knocked off the Philadelphia Warriors again in a 3-game series. However, in the Eastern Finals, the Nats fell to the Knicks again, dropping the series in 4 games. The Nationals would finish in second place in a hard-fought 3-way battle for first place in the Eastern Division for the 52-53 season, with a record of 47-24. In the playoffs, the Nationals would face the Boston Celtics, dropping Game 1 at home with a score of 87-81. Needing a win in Boston to keep their hopes alive, the Nationals would take the Celtics deep into overtime before losing in quadruple overtime, 111-105, in what remains the longest playoff game in NBA history.
I was about to ask how long that game had to have gone, but here we are.
I mean, if that's like a quadruple overtime would just be a whole nother basketball game, wouldn't it?
Right.
That's crazy.
Let's see how long that game was.
Yeah. Let's get an official
78 minutes. So
what?
Took place January 6th, 51 with the wait, what?
It's got to be longer than that. Maybe that's 78 minutes of basketball time. Maybe it's not counting everything in between,
See, we're getting some conflicting reviews here. I'm going to be honest with you.
All right. I'm trying to look it up. Let's see. Longest basketball games. This was like the longest playoff game, not just the longest basketball.
Oh, see, that's where I fucked up.
Right. I mean, the longest basketball games ever were like 5 or 6 overtimes. So it still is a very long basketball game.
Sure.
I'm trying to see. These don't have total times. They're just I think it's just going by how many overtimes. Yeah. But here we are talking about the Syracuse Nationals on ESPN. I'm looking up what are the longest basketball games in history, and it's just talking about how Syracuse was the main reason for creating it. Rochester Royals had I think this is it, Jim, that I was talking about earlier. Right. The Rochester Royals played the longest game ever, which convinced people to institute the shot clock. Rochester Royals against the Indianapolis Olympians in 1951. And I'm trying to see how many overtimes. I don't know. We got to get back to the Nationals. But it was long.
Yeah.
And this was after the shot clock too, right? Well, there you go. It could be worse. Okay, so the Nationals acquired Alex Groza and Ralph Beard as the Indianapolis Olympians folded, leaving the NBA with just 9 teams for the 53-54 season. Once again, the Nationals would battle for the division title, falling 2 games short with a 42-30 record. In the playoffs, the Nets would win all 4 games of a round-robin tournament involving the 3 playoff teams from the East. The Eastern Finals, the Nets would stay hot, beating the Boston Celtics in 2 straight games. However, in the NBA Finals, the Nationals would lose to the Minneapolis Lakers in a hard-fought 7-game series, with the 2 teams alternated wins throughout. With the NBA struggling financially and down to just 8 teams, Nationals owner during the 54-55 season, Danny Biasone, suggested the league limit the amount of time taken for a shot, thus speeding up a game that often ended with long periods of teams just holding the ball and playing keep away. Okay, so this was before we talked about Danny up front. That long playoff game was before the shot clock came in.
Yeah.
Got it.
And the 54-55 season is when the shot clock was instituted.
I mean, keep away is a classic, schoolyard game, right? Like,
sure. It does have its popularity with the young.
It's true.
The youth do enjoy it.
I could be a professional keep away. I'm tall, I was a key player back in like 2nd grade.
Height does have a lot to do with it.
It's true.
I must say.
It's true.
That is certainly going to be your asset as far as playing a game of keep away.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Well, let's talk about the 54-55 season, as it is a pivotal moment in the Syracuse Nationals history. During the 54-55 season, the Syracuse Nationals, their 6th NBA season, was struggling financially, as we said, down to 8 teams. During the early portion of the season, the Nationals played a game against the Baltimore Bullets on October 30th in 54, winning that game 69-67 for what was originally their season opener, before the original Bullets team later folded operations early in the season on November 27th, 1954. That game, they played what ultimately ended up being wiped out of the official record books of NBA history.
Boo!
I'd be a little upset if I won, because that win is still a win, regardless of whether that team exists or not.
That's interesting, because I mentioned the Buffalo Bisons earlier. I can't remember if they were NBA or NBL, but a similar thing happened to them where they moved cities mid-season.
Right.
They ultimately ended up as Atlanta's current team, but I want to say they were in like Iowa or some shit in between there in Buffalo. And the new team, which took on, the Atlanta Blackhawks? Is that the
Atlanta Hawks?
Just the Hawks. Since they had a name change, you still got to keep the Buffalo Bison record. They didn't wipe it away. They made them keep their record. So they counted it in one instance. They're not counting it here.
Yeah. If the game they played was officially kept as part of the season's record for the Nationals, their official record would have had Syracuse get a winning record of 44-29 instead of 43-29 for their season. Nationals owner Danny Biasone suggested that the league limit the amount of time taken for a shot.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Biasone was upset with the stalling tactics of opposing teams. During the summer of 54, Biasone had gotten together with some of his pros, and a group of high school players, and timed them with a stopwatch. Most shots were taken within 12 seconds, Biasone discovered. Biasone calculated that a 24-second shot clock would allow at least 30 shots per quarter and assist in increasing scoring. This guy is really about his business.
Mm-hmm.
The result would speed up a game that often ended with long periods of teams just holding the ball, which, if you're a fan, fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm just going to watch you play keep away. Keep away is only fun to play if you're playing it.
I would say keep away is only fun to play if you are the person keeping things away.
Sure.
Largely unfun for everyone else participating.
Everyone else, spectator and person on the shorter end, right?
Yeah.
Quickness and athletic ability became prized as they never had been before. Excessive fouling didn't disappear completely, but just about everyone concluded that the shot clock was good for the game. The shot clock was a success, with the result that scoring was up 14 points per game league-wide. In the first season of the shot clock, the Nats would take first place in the Eastern Division with a 43-29 record. They would later win the NBA Finals that season, following their beating the Boston Celtics 3-1 and winning all of their home games against the Fort Wayne Pistons to win 4-3 for the NBA Finals championship.
More team owners should spend the entire offseason developing a new rule and preparing for it and then implementing it so you have a massive leg up next season. That's hilarious.
I mean, listen, it's a good way to get your team on the map.
Yeah.
And get them where they need to go.
Yeah, it's a crazy idea. What if, I just spitball, and what if we put a little shot clock? Just a thought to think about it.
What if we had a situation where you could foul out?
Yeah.
You only get 5 fouls instead of unlimited fouls. So, where were we? Hoop Style later ranked this squad as the team with the 8th easiest path to the NBA Finals championship due to the records of the 2 opponents they faced off against.
Well, that's a little rude.
That's not very nice. It's pretty hard to play basketball.
Yeah. I mean, there's 8 teams, so you might want to take that into consideration. You're already in the Elite 8 at that point,
Sure. You're kind of built to the semifinals.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
The shot clock was an instant success, as scoring, as we said, was up 14 points per game league-wide. In the first season of the shot clock, the Nats would take first place in the East, as we said, with a 43-29 record. After a first-round bye, the Nats beat the Boston Celtics 4 games to reach the finals for the second straight season. In the finals, the Nats would get off to a fast start, led by forward Dolph Schayes, and took the first 2 games at home against the Fort Wayne Pistons. However, as the series moved to Fort Wayne, the Pistons would spark back to life, taking all 3 games to take the 3-2 lead. Back in Syracuse for Game 6, the Nats kept championship hopes alive by beating the Pistons 109-104 to force a Game 7 at home. Game 7 would be as tight as the series as George King sank a free throw to give the Nats a 92-91 lead in the final seconds.
Wow.
King would then steal an inbound pass to clinch the NBA championship for the Nationals. Let's go, Upstate. Coming off their NBA championship, the Nationals struggled in the 55-56 season. You can't shine forever.
Mm-hmm.
Needing a tiebreaker over the New York Knicks to avoid finishing in last place and make their playoffs with a 35-37 record. However, in the playoffs, the Nats would stun the Boston Celtics, winning the first round series in 3 games by taking the final 2 games. In the Eastern Finals, the Nationals played solid basketball again as they pushed the Philadelphia Warriors to a decisive 5th game. However, the Nationals' reign as the champions would end with a 109-104 loss to Philadelphia. So you can't have nice things forever, folks.
No.
That's how it go. The Nationals would get off to a slow start as coach Al Cervi was fired and replaced by Paul Seymour. Under Seymour, the Nats would rebound and finish the 56-57 season in 2nd place. That's pretty good, with a record of 38-34. In the playoffs, the Nats would have trouble knocking off the defending champion Philadelphia Warriors, advancing to the Eastern Finals with 2 straight wins. However, the Nats would be swept in 3 straight games by the eventual champions, the Boston Celtics. Fort Wayne and Rochester had moved on to Detroit and Cincinnati, respectively, for the 57-58 season, leaving the Syracuse Nationals as the last small-town team in the big city NBA. That would not matter on the court as the Nats held their finishing in second place with a 41-31 record. That's right. Because Upstate has still got that smoke.
There you go.
Fucking right. That's this whole podcast is about. Listen, that's how we do this. However, in the playoffs, the Nationals would fall in the first round as they lost a 3-game series to the Philly Warriors. Despite a mediocre 35-37 record for the 58-59 season, the Nationals would make the playoffs again by finishing in third place. In the playoffs, the Nationals would once again rise to the occasion, sweeping the New York Knicks in 2 straight to reach the Eastern Finals, where they gave their eventual champion Boston Celtics all they could handle, alternating wins before falling 5 points in Game 7. Now, playing in a league now dominated by superstars like Bill Russell, who, bad motherfucker, of the Boston Celtics, and Wilt Chamberlain, equally bad motherfucker, of the Philadelphia Warriors, and Bob Pettit of the St. Louis Hawks, also a bad motherfucker. The Nationals held their own with a solid 45-30 record, while finishing in third place after the regular 59-60 season. However, in the playoffs, the Nats would sweep a 5-game division semifinal series against Chamberlain and the Warriors, eventually losing to Russell and the Celtics in a 3-1 Eastern Division Finals. With the Lakers relocating to from Minneapolis to Los Angeles before a 60-61 season, the Syracuse Nationals became the last old NBL team to still be playing in their original city in the NBA because they're old boots. I fucking love it. Everybody trying to move on, they're saying, nah, we're going to ride this to the end. They will eventually see their end. Sadly. The Nationals would go on to make the playoffs again by finishing third place with a 38-41 record. The Nationals would prove to be dangerous in the playoffs as they stunned the Philly Warriors in 3 straight games. However, in the Eastern Finals, the Nats would be knocked off once again by the eventual champion Boston Celtics in 5 games. Jeez, listen, I have to say this, but there is something to Syracuse saying we will still fight.
Yeah.
I love it. This is what we're all about. Dolph Schayes missed 24 games in the 61-62 season and failed to lead the team in scoring for the first time in 14 years, as Hal Greer led the way with 22 points per game. The Nats would go on to finish in third place again with a 41-39 record. They love staying in third place. I don't want first, and I don't want second. Just give me third. In the playoffs, the Nats would drop their first 2 games to the Philly Warriors on the road. Facing elimination, the Nats would win the next 2 games to force a Game 5 in Philly. In that Game 5, the Warriors would prove to be too strong as they ended the Nats season with a 121-104 victory. With an aging team, the Nationals were expected to fade. However, with the scrappy play of John Kerr, the Nationals remained a strong contender, finishing in second place, fuck third, for a 62-63 season with a record of 48-32. In the playoffs, the Nationals would face the Cincinnati Royals, getting off a 2-1 series lead. However, needing a win to advance to the Eastern Finals, the Nationals would lose 2 straight, dropping the decisive 5th game at home in overtime, 131-127. What a journey for the good Nationals of Syracuse. Rob, they eventually do decide to go the fate of so many other teams. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about that.
All right, let's talk about the relocation. So the playoff overtime loss on March 26th of 63 would prove to be the last game for the Syracuse Nationals, as investors Irv Kozloff and Ike Richmond purchased the team from Danny Biasoni and moved the team to Philly, filling a void left by the Warriors, who had also just relocated. Like, what was the point? of moving the Warriors. While many early NBA teams had been based in medium-sized cities, Syracuse was, of course, the last such city left in the league by 1963. By then, however, it was apparent that central New York was no longer large enough to support the Nats. The NBA thus returned to Philadelphia 1 year after the Warriors had left for San Francisco. A contest was held to decide on a new name for the team. The winning name, of course, was chosen by a fellow named Walter Stahlberg, of course, being rebranded as the 76ers, often shortened to the Sixers. The short name was quickly accepted by the team for marketing purposes, and for most of the last 60 years, the 76ers and Sixers have been officially interchangeable. So there you go.
Huh.
There you go. Jim, we talked about we've talked about some of the players, but let's dive a little bit more into a couple of the big names we've been talking about here.
Sure.
So we're going to start off with Alfred Nicholas Servey. We talked a little bit about. He was born in 1917 and he died in 2009. That's a pretty good run. And of course, he's a professional basketball player and coach in the NBL and NBA. And he's a native of Buffalo, New York. He attended East High School there, and he captained the baseball and basketball teams and achieved all city honors in both sports. He dropped out of school after his junior year when he was recruited by the Buffalo Bisons. We chatted a little bit about of the newly formed NBL. He played in all of the Bisons' 9 games in the 37-38 or in their 37-38 season, which is their only season and not a full one.
Sure.
He never attended college. Instead, he served 5 years in the Army or Army Air Forces from 1940 to 1945. So it seems like he, played a little bit of professional ball, went to World War II, came back, and joined the Rochester Royals. This guy played on every professional basketball team in upstate New York.
Yeah.
This is great. This is crazy.
It doesn't get more upstate than that, Al.
No, man. This is great. So after the conclusion of World War II, he joined the Royals, another NBL franchise, entering its first year of operations. So this is 1945. He immediately experienced success as the team captured the 45-46 league title after sweeping the best-of-5 championship series against Sheboygan. Again, long-standing stance for me on this podcast. Fuck Wisconsin. Let's go upstate. Yeah. Although I've been to Sheboygan, a lovely town. It's fine. It's fine. Let's see.
I like that you said fuck it and then said, you know what? They're okay.
I mean, fuck the state. But Sheboygan's fine. It's a fine town. It's fine. All right. The Royals. There's worse towns in Wisconsin. The Royals returned to the finals the following 2 seasons, but lost to the Chicago American Gears. American Gears. What a team name. And the Minneapolis Lakers in 4 games each. Servey made the all NBL first team in 47 and 48. I think they're like all-stars. And in the first of those 2 campaigns, he was the leading scorer with 632 points. Pretty good. His time with the Royals only lasted 3 seasons after discovering that other teammates were being paid more than his $7,500 annual salary. He requested a $3,500 raise, which was then denied by Les Harrison, the team owner. As a result, instead of moving with the Royals to the Basketball Association of America, after the 48 campaign, Servey stayed in the NBL and joined the Syracuse Nationals, who met his salary demands and appointed him the player coach. If we have time, we'll talk a little bit more about his opinions on player salaries. It's incongruous with what we just learned.
Interesting. I have the feeling someone put a ladder down.
Mm-hmm.
He climbed up it and pulled it back up.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll squeeze it in. It's short. Just put a pin in that for later. All right. So with the Nationals, he was with them from 48 to 57. So besides being named the All-NBL first team for a third straight year in 49, he also earned Coach of the Year honors. He's one of the top players and he's the best coach too. This guy's, he's doing it all. After the BAA and NBL merger to form the NBA, prior to the 49-50 campaign, he continued to serve in the dual capacity role until his retirement as an active player in 1953. However, his last year as a full-time player was 1952. It was the last year that he played at least 50 games. Okay. So the Syracuse teams he piloted took on his relentlessly competitive nature. He played a major role in the development of Dolph Schayes, who we've talked a little bit about, and we'll talk about a little bit more after this. The Nationals qualified for the playoffs in 8 of the 9 seasons that he coached the ball club, including 3 trips to the NBA Finals. They were twice defeated by the Lakers, first in 6 games in 1950 and then in 7 in 54. The pinnacle of Servy's coaching career was leading his squad to the NBA championship over the Fort Wayne Pistons in 7 games in 55. When the Nationals began the 56-57 campaign at 4 wins to 8 losses, he was replaced by team captain Paul Seymour. That's pretty rude. Give him a chance. He's got a pretty good record,
Right.
Jeez.
Right.
Maybe it was 8 straight losses or something. Who knows? All right. So Servy in his later years succeeded George Sineski as coach of the Philadelphia Warriors. So he moved on to the Warriors in 58, but left after 1 season to accept a more lucrative job in the trucking business as an area manager for Eastern Freightways in Rochester, New York. What a wild career decision to make.
But also so symbolic of the time that how that would not happen today. If you were an NBA player, right, and that you were getting your money, and then said, you know what? Nah, this airline wants me to run the airport.
Yeah, I mean, he's only known basketball. Aside from, we don't know what he did in the military. Maybe he was in charge of trucks. Maybe he was in charge of trucks in Europe or something. Who knows? But as far as I know, he's qualified to coach and play basketball. It's a wild change. In 1960, he declined to accept a 2-year offer to coach the Lakers in its first campaign in LA because his wife was reluctant to leave the Rochester area. Servy was the head coach for the New Haven Elms of the Eastern Professional Basketball League. During the 66-67 season, he lived in the suburb of Brighton for the last 58 years of his life. Wow. Servy was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 85 and received similar honors from the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame in 2003. Jim, we should do a future episode on the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
I think I'm throwing it on the list.
There we go. Boom. Servy would pass on November 9th, 2009 in Rochester at the age of 92. He was featured in the book Basketball History in Syracuse, Hoops Roots, by author Mark Allen Baker, published by the History Press in 2010, which I think we talked a little bit about earlier. The book is an introduction to professional basketball in Syracuse and includes teams like the All-Americans, the Syracuse Reds, and the Syracuse Nationals. So that's a second plug for this book we've done.
Sure. We don't work for them, by the way, guys.
That's true. Jim, I'm going to throw in this quick article I have here before we move on to our next player, Dolph. This is from 1951, the Rochester Sun, January 25th, 1951. The title is Pro Cagers Pampered, Spoiled, states Servey. Today's basketball players are, quote, spoiled and pampered, in the opinion of Al Servey, one-time Royal star who is now player coach of the Syracuse Nats. According to the National Basketball Association, which reported Servey's findings, the, quote, old pro thinks today's cage stars get too much money. When I broke into the pro ranks in 1937 with Rochester, I received $10 a game in expenses, Servey claims, and believe me, brother, I was wealthy. You quit the team because they weren't paying you enough.
Man, you hate to see it.
It's true. Servey didn't want to say whether or not he thought $10 ought to be the going rate for cagers today. However, nor did he say how much he currently gets in the pay envelope. Quote, today's players get too much money starting out, Servey declared. He says that competition for college stars hired for publicity value has driven the salary range right up through the roof. Servey also charged that today's players know only offense and can't run. He thinks that pro basketball ought to get more of its men from the sandlots, although he admits that, quote, the sandlots are not as active now as they once were. No reason was given for that situation. It's a very surprising thing to read, after he bailed out of a team for another one who's going to pay him more.
It doesn't get quite more American than that.
That's true.
It's no longer my problem, so it's not a problem.
It's true. Well, our next topic isn't a problem because we have it figured out. It's Dolph Schayes. Let's talk about Dolph.
Let's talk about it. We're going to talk about his career in the Nationals and the Sixers from 48 to 64. Schayes was drafted by both the New York Knicks in the 1948 BAA draft, first round, 4th overall, and the Tri-City Blackhawks in the NBL draft.
That is the team. The Tri-City Blackhawks became the Atlanta Hawks. I wasn't wrong.
There you go. You weren't going crazy.
It's true.
The Blackhawks traded his rights to the Syracuse Nationals, who then offered him a contract worth $7,500, worth $100,500 today, 50% more than the Knicks, influencing his decision to go to Syracuse.
Which is pretty, we're talking a lot about mid-city versus large city here. Later on in the, 50s and 60s, like, Syracuse is ponying up. They're putting up the money.
Yeah, dude. Look, I'll take $100K to go.
Yeah.
Fucking kick it in Syracuse. Fuck that. Schayes played one season in the NBL and was named the league's Rookie of the Year. The following season, 49 to 50, the Nationals moved to the newly formed National Basketball Association, the NBA, as part of the merger between the BAA and the NBL. Although tall for his era at 6'8", today's standard. Okay. That's average. I feel like the average basketball player is like 6'6". That's like on the short side. Schayes was especially known for his deadly high-arcing outside set shot. It arced so high that his teammates came to call it the Sputnik. Defenders who attempted to deny him the outside shot were confronted by his powerful drive to the basket. These two offensive weapons served him well, even as the NBA was transitioning from basketball's traditional set shot into a league of jump shooters.
That's what I was talking about earlier. Like, this guy just planted both feet square on the court and just dropping those high arcs. And other people are like, what if we jumped? What if we jumped a little bit? What if I did a little hop and a skip on my way to the basket?
I mean, it will change the game.
I think so.
Early in Schayes' career, he broke his right arm and played almost an entire season in a cast. Wow.
Yeah.
Oddly, this injury became a seminal point in his development. He learned to shoot with his offhand, making him especially difficult to guard. He was one of the best, and the last, to use the two-handed set shot with feet planted on the floor before the game changed to one-handed jump shots.
He was shooting with, I mean, he could shoot.
That's hilarious.
He could shoot with either hand. He could shoot with both hands. He couldn't jump and shoot, but, you know, hands-wise, pretty talented.
Imagine if he jumped.
Yeah.
Just imagine if he jumped.
I mean, to be clear, this guy would absolutely school me in basketball. Like,
he is 6'8".
Yeah, like I would not want to play keep away with him, Jim.
No. I think he would have a significant advantage.
It's true.
NBA career achievements. Shays was the first person in the NBA to ever surpass 15,000 points and 10,000 rebounds.
It's pretty good.
A 12-time NBA star, Shays was a 6-time All-NBA first-team honoree and was the first selected to the All-NBA second team 6 times. He came in second in MVP voting in 58 and fifth in both 56 and 57. When he retired in 64, he held the NBA record for games played, 996, foul shots made, 6,712, attempted, 7,904, personal fouls, 3,432, and was second to Bob Pettit in scoring, 18,438, and third in rebounds, 11,256.
He had the record for personal fouls. That's kind of awesome.
It. Good for you, man. Sometimes you got to check somebody, let them know where they're at.
There you go.
I get it.
There we go. Well, Jim, that concludes. I think this is the last time we're going to talk about a former NBA team from upstate New York, sadly.
Yeah.
Because, again, the Bisons, there's just not enough there unless, like, someone does a documentary or writes a book on them. There's just not a lot of info there. They played 8 games. I think we talked about them maybe briefly in the Royals episode, but we got some highlights today for them.
Yeah, if we did like kind of like an upstate an upstate basketball football team that's no longer there montage.
Sure,
they'd make it in the montage.
Oh yeah. They'd be in the oh God, what's it called in the Oscars when they do the
in memoriam?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be the first face you see, but they get like a 2-second title card in there, right?
Sure, why not?
Sure. Well, Jim, speaking of title cards, we need to do some end credits.
Roll the credits.
Credits on this
episode. Yeah.
But before we can do that, just a quick reminder, guys, subscribe, rate, and review. I can never say the word subscribe when I need to. It's rough. But you know what? I promise, if you listen to the next episode next week, I'll try a little harder to pronounce it better, Is that an enticing offer, Jim?
I can't imagine they're not going to turn it down.
Sure.
They're going to go for it.
Sure. Again, guys, 5 stars. Write us a positive review, and you can toss in a suggestion for a future topic. Again, just like we did today. This is something I wanted to talk about maybe a year ago, and then forgot to put it on the list, and then a listener reminded us of it, and here it is. And hey, if you really want to hear about the car show, the Syracuse Nationals, get an email out to us at understandingupstate@gmail.com, and maybe we'll do it. It might fuck with our SEO if we have 2 episodes called the same thing, but that's a fun problem to have, guys. So give us a shout out.
Yeah, hit us up, man.
Speaking of shouting things out, Jim, do you have anything you'd like to recommend to our listeners?
I do. All right, so check this out. You're watching a basketball game, right? Mm-hmm. And it gets towards the end of the game, and you're like, shoot the fucking ball, right? Because you're like, you are just passing the ball around. You're up by 3, so you're just running the clock. It's fucking boring, right? Mm-hmm. And you're like, God, I wish there was some more excitement. Where can I find some excitement? I'll tell you where you do that. My comedy album, Upstate Understandings. You need to go get it. It's a true fucking tour de force. It is laughs per minute. The LPMs are just astronomical. You're just not going to stop laughing. Go get it. Gymsearch.bandcamp.com is the place to get it. The physical copies. There's no more vinyl, guys. Just CDs and cassettes. And those CDs and cassettes, all the audio on there from the steady hand of Rob Adler.
Mm-hmm.
The art on that from the steady hand of Adam Russell. If you were to ever look at a clip of that performance, because they do exist, that is from the steady hand of Matt Ely. So make sure you go buy all those things. And of course, hit us up, please, for our t-shirts. Understandingupstate.printful.me is a place to go get those. Also, I got so many things to plug here, folks. The 27th of this month. Holy moly guacamole, that's right around the corner. It is Stellar Human Presents. This is a yearly comedy show that goes up at Stellar Human, 159 Washington Street. It's going to be a dope show. Please pull on up for it. We want to get some butts into the seats. Doors are at 6:30, shows at 7 o'clock. Tickets are $15 on Eventbrite, $20 at the door. Stephen Brown is going to host it. Courtney Farrington's going to feature. I'm going to headline. You're going to see a brand new hour from me of jokes. You need to be there for it. We already got some tickets moving, so you want to make sure you don't miss it. So go get all that stuff. If you're in the New York City area, got a couple shows coming up this month. Gymsearchcomedy.com is a good place to see those. And, before I forget, email us. Love to read some fun emails from the Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's. Understandingupstate@gmail.com is a place to do that. Rob, they've followed my instruction to the last letter. They bought tickets to Stellar Human Presents. They decided they were going to buy copies of this album. What else can they do?
Let's just say that, look, you're pretty good at basketball. You've been pro, I don't know, at least 6 years. Things are looking pretty good. But you just got out of a game, and people are jumping now. People are like leaping towards the basket. You don't think you're cut out for that shit. So you're gonna, you got to take some time for yourself to really figure out, what you're gonna do, what your life's trajectory is gonna be. Are you gonna go run a trucking company or something? What the fuck are you gonna do? You're going to listen to my album called New York Sticky, available at brooklynfrequency.bandcamp.com. Go pick that up. It's a great little instrumental listen. I got another EP on there as well. Lots of music. Go check out those albums, and you'll figure it out. And, maybe you'll throw in a little hop here or there, or,
sure.
Just retire. It's fine too. That's all right. It's all right. Speaking of retiring, I would love to retire from this episode, but before we can do that, we need a little hint for what next week's topic is going to be.
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do, Rob, is we're going to be honoring the past and building the future.
I like it.
Yeah.
If someone gets it from that, I will be surprised.
I would, you know what? I would be delighted, actually, if they were to know their upstate business like that.
Yeah, that's knowing it. That's like doctorate level dissertation right there to get
Sure.
Well, that just leaves us with a little up pun, and I'm sure the last time we did, a basketball topic, I've definitely burned layup. It can't be a layup pun, right? So, let me see what I have in store.
Let's see what you got, man. What do you got for us?
Well, Jim, we're in the 6th overtime, and I need to charge up the court so we can end this basketball game and this episode. So let's get on out of here.
Well done.
Nothing but net.
Understanding Upstate is a podcast hosted by Jim Search and Rob Adler, edited by Rob Adler, and music from Regal Monk.